Today, raising the solstice. I'm very glad to be this event's MC and especially welcome you formally this time to this event honoring the 150th anniversary of Ukrainian settlement in Canada, 120th anniversary of Ukrainian settlement in Canada, and especially remembering three families who came to Alberta. Other people came to Winnipeg and they came out to Alberta and went back. But these are the three families that actually took up first residence on Alberta soil. And we're here to honor those three families today, the Filippo, the Kuchowski, and the Page families. So I'm very glad to invite you to take part in this. In 1891, Ivan Filippo came to Canada with a man named Vasily Lenin. And they came to check out all of what was going on in Canada with his homesteading business. Posters were being put up in Galicia and Bukovina, and they got wind of the fact that there was brand new free land for the taking, like winning the 649. And so they thought, well, this is too good to be true, so we'll find out if it's really correct or not. And they came in 1891, and they went to Manitoba. They became Canada's first Ukrainian cowboys. They worked for German Mennonite settlers in Manitoba tending cows. And after a while, Filippo wanted to see more of the free land, and he went all the way out to Edmonton. And eventually tracked down some other settlers who had come from Galicia. They were German settlers up near Bruderheim. And he found that it was true. And as a result, he took entry on a piece of land and then went back home to convince others. Unfortunately, he was too good a salesman. He got in prison for his efforts. And his fellow villagers, about 10 families, said, well, he'll get out of jail someday, and they came on to Canada themselves. They got as far as Winnipeg, and then several of them went as far as Edmonton and found also land out near Bruderheim, and took entry on it. But they came a little bit too late, so they couldn't do anything with that land, so they went back to Winnipeg. Some of them stayed a long time, several years, and as a result, their original entries lapsed. And two families, the Kuchowski family and the Anton Page family, decided that they were going to come out and take up entry. And that's what we're celebrating today. It's 120 years of Ukrainian settlement, not only in Canada, but specifically in Alberta. And now I'd like to bring several people to the podium to speak for today's event. Mr. Roman Budatan, who is chair of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress 120th Anniversary Commemoration Committee.
Thank you very much again. Christos was fast. Well, as the man mentioned, we have a huge occasion today, but we're not only just marking with this event that 120th anniversary. We are, in fact, kicking off an entire year's worth of celebrations across this country. And that's happening right here today at this event. This is our official launch for the 120th anniversary year commemoration for the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. And as chairman of the commemorative committee, it's my pleasure to invite you to participate, to send this message across the country. There will be postings of events online, coverage of events as the year progresses. We'll be posting hopefully video, so you'll be able to follow along with what's happening in other parts of the country, at major festivals. The idea is to make this a huge celebratory year. And as the Ukrainians tend to do, we don't sit back and wait for someone else to organize and get down to it. So there have already been several events dedicated to this 120th anniversary. We will be archiving those. There will be a special website at the Ukrainian Canadian Congress website, access to it at ucc.ca, and there you'll be able to check the calendar for other events that are also dedicated to this anniversary. And at the same time, we will have an opportunity to have feedback for you, as this is, of course, the 21st century, so we have a youth commission with the National Ukrainian Canadian Congress that will be doing all sorts of blogs and tweeting and all those other things that are a part of our current society. So, follow for that, go to the UCC website, and you'll be able to see exactly what's happening throughout the celebratory year. When we started to plan this year, we realized, of course, that we needed a theme. Naturally, the subject is the 120th anniversary of Ukrainian settlement in Canada. But what would our theme be? What would it encompass? That which really is the spirit of Ukrainians in this country. And after an exhaustive search, after many recommendations and suggestions and some tweaking and writing and rewriting, we came up with a tagline or logo, slogan, which then led to a search for artists to submit their ideas for what our official logo should look like. Our title or tagline is Ukraina Canada 120, Groundbreakers, Nation Builders, Trailblazers. And I think if you take any aspect of the past 120 years and our Ukrainian contribution to building this nation and developing our community, these three categories summarize it all. We had many submissions, and I'm very happy to say that in less than a month, we had some upwards of 30 different submissions that were considered by our committee. And finally, a decision was made, and a winning logo was chosen. The artist is Oleg Lisyuk, who is a Ukrainian-Canadian artist who hails actually originally from Lviv. And of course, we didn't know that when we chose the piece, but as it turns out, such a perfect, really, reflection of exactly what we're celebrating. And speaking of modern culture here at this historic village, I have to use this because I've been waiting 3 days for his bio and he just sent it an hour ago to me. So here's just a couple of words over him before we unveil this. He was born in 1959 in Lviv, Ukraine, graduated from the New National Academy of Applied and Decorative Arts, and sculpture is actually his specialty. He works in studio compositions and portraits, monumental sculpture and murals. And since 1980 has been a participant in numerous group exhibits in Ukraine, Russia, Italy, US, and Canada. He's had solo exhibitions. He's created several monuments, monumental signs, park sculptures, memorial plaques in Ukraine, Canada, France, and Great Britain, and earned numerous awards. And we're delighted that Oleg Lisyuk and his work have been chosen as our winning submission for the 120th anniversary of Ukrainians in Canada. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here is the winning submission. Could you please unveil it? Just a couple words from the artist himself to explain the concept. He says the logo consists of 3 parts. The bottom part symbolizes 4 people, the waves of immigration to Canada, the waves of the ocean to be overcome, the waves of people that came to a new land over the past 120 years. He says they're designed proportionally according to the numbers of Ukrainians that arrived during these 4 historic periods. In the central part of the logo, we have 3 flying cranes, Juravi. These powerful, intelligent, and enduring birds are, as you know, very popular in Ukrainian music, folklore, and culture, and they represent migration away from the homeland, possibly never to return. It's a perfect representation of Ukrainians far away from their traditional heritage homeland. And because there are 3 cranes, because they symbolize the family as the foundation of our Ukrainian society, the mother, the father, and the child. And then, of course, we see that the wings of the cranes eventually develop into the Canadian Maple Leaf, which is our ultimate destination. This logo, you will see a lot of very soon, as it will be distributed to our various member organizations across the country. It will be available for use in all official events marking the 120th anniversary of Ukrainians in Canada.
Families, Mr. Allred, ladies and gentlemen, Panoge. On behalf of the Ukrainian Congress in Canada and National President Paul Garod, and as President of the Ukrainian Congress in Alberta, I'm very honored to be here today bringing greetings at such a historic occasion. And what an appropriate location for us to be gathered at today, the Ukrainian Cultural Heritage Village, a provincial historic site envisioned by a local farmer who felt that the history of the first Ukrainian pioneers need to be reflected at a permanent site. And so he donated this land to the province of Alberta in order that we can retain this history, pass that along to future generations. Today we are honoring the first families who arrived in a cold, rugged, and unwelcoming Canada, families who dreamed of a better life for themselves and a brighter future for their children. They came to this country, which sought out these hardworking people closet Ukrainians, as the public shame was difficult to bear. What most did not know, however, is that perseverance, resilience, and sheer tenacity is in our genes, as Ukrainians have survived and overcome centuries of persecution only to rise on top. Today, it is interesting to note that many of the slurs and negativity thrown at the first waves of Ukrainians arriving in Canada are unimaginable as we look at Ukrainian Canadians in today's society. Proud Ukrainians fill the ranks of every profession. Many Ukrainian Canadians have died for this country and have been awarded the highest medals of service and bravery. Names like Yusik, Andreychuk, Romero, Nitish, and Stedma have adorned some of the highest offices in our country. Many highly successful Canadian fashion designers are of Ukrainian heritage. People of all ethnicities enjoy our cuisine and attend concerts presented by the many successful dance troupes which populate this country. And lo and behold, garlic is sought out as a healthy, holistic addition in everyone's diets, and there are even garlic festivals. How times have changed. While we enjoy achievements of the past 120 years, we cannot do so without remembering and thanking those first pioneers who had the vision of a better life and the strength to retain their language, culture, and history in a new land and pass this on to subsequent generations. We are now the keepers of this knowledge in our adopted homeland. It is up to us to honor those who gave so much and respect and retain the legacy of their hard work, their love of our Ukrainian culture, and love of this bountiful land, Canada. And furthermore,